Hello everyone, my name is Hare Krishna. I am teaching physics. I am working since 2015 and have produced many ranks in IIT and NEET coaching. Today I will discuss the topic, what is the difference between the linear and rotational. The linear motion and rotational motion. This is the linear motion and rotational motion. So, in the linear motion, generally if you consider one particle or one object, this object will move initially with a velocity u, at time t equal to 0. Now, after some time the particle will be having some velocity v. By that time this object will travel a distance d. This object will travel a distance d. Here time taken is t. Time taken is t. Now, if you consider equation here, in a particular time the distance travelled is d. Okay. Now, whatever the distance travelled in a time t, we will say it has speed. That we will consider it has speed. And if you take displacement by time, if you consider, you will get it as velocity. What is the difference between the displacement and distance? If you see, initially the particle is at this position, it travelled in this form to a 1 meter distance and it travelled down for 1 meter and again it came back to 1 meter. Again it came back to 1 meter. So, the length of the path is 3 meters. So, what is the length of the path? Length of a path is 3 meters. Okay. So, this length of the path is nothing but distance. This length of the path is nothing but a distance. So, this is the final point. This is the final point. So, if you draw a line from initial to final, this is nothing but a displacement. This is nothing but a displacement. Okay. Now, the difference between this total length of the path travelled is a distance, and from initial point to final point, direct line if you draw, that we will say it as displacement. So, therefore, how much time it taken? Assume it taken 3 seconds. Okay. Now, here in the speed, if you take, the total distance travelled is 3 meters upon total time taken is 3 seconds. So, therefore, speed will be coming 1 meter per second. But in the velocity, if you take, the displacement travelled is 1 meter only, because from initial to final directly if you draw a line, if this is 1 meter, automatically this also will be 1 meter. So, this from initial position to final position displacement is what? 1 meter upon time taken is 3 seconds. So, therefore, velocity will be 1/3 meter per second. 1/3 meter per second. Now, if initially it is starting from rest, we will take initial velocity as 0. If this particle is starting from rest, we will take it as 0. So, when after time t it reaches to this, we will consider it as v. If initially it is not starting from rest, means we will take it as u. Okay. This is in the linear motion. Then what about rotational motion? In rotational motion, we have to consider one axis. Without axis, we can't say the particle will be in rotation. For suppose observer is seeing from this point, observer is seeing from this point. Now one particle is there at this position. Initially observer will see this particle is at this position, the distance let's say r, let's say r. Now this particle after some time, this is at t equals to 0, after some time this particle will be traveling like this. After some time t, the particle will be here. Now with respect to this observer, the particle will be at this position, the particle will be at this position. So how much it turned? It turned an angle theta, it turned an angle theta. Okay, from initial to this final it turned an angle theta. This theta we will say it has angular displacement. This theta we will say it has angular displacement. Here directly initial to final, if you draw a line, this we will say it as linear displacement. In this we will say it has angular displacement. So here angular displacement upon time taken, we will take it as angular velocity, that is omega, angular velocity. Okay, that is angular velocity. So it rotates with an angular velocity omega. Here this we will consider it as linear velocity. Here this we will say it has linear velocity, and here we will say it has angular velocity. This angular velocity, how we will write? Theta by t we will write, theta by t we will write. So the theta we will take units as a radian. Here units, if you consider, these units will be radian per second, radian per second. If it rotated 30 degrees means 30 radian per second we will consider. So this is angular displacement by time, we will consider it as angular velocity. So here linear displacement by time we will say it as linear velocity. Now if you see in this case, if you see here, initially it is having a velocity 0, after some time it attains a velocity. So if velocity is changed in a particular time, that we will say it as linear acceleration. Rate of change of velocity, rate of change of velocity, which is nothing but velocity change means what? dv, that is nothing but v minus 0. No, here final, this is final, this is initial. So always change in velocity, anything change we will consider it as v final minus v initial. Initial it is 0, final it is v. Change upon time taken, change in time is what? t minus 0. This we will say it has acceleration. This we will say it has acceleration. Okay, in this linear, this we will consider it as acceleration. Then in rotation, initially if particle initially with respect to this axis, none of this with respect to this axis means observer is seeing from this position, the particle is rotated like this. So that we will consider it as a rotational motion. So this here observer will see. So observer, with respect to the observer, the particle will go in a straight path. Okay, each and every instant with respect to the observer the distance will change, but here with respect to the observer each and every instant the distance will be constant in this case. Okay, now here if you take this as axis, this as axis, initially the particle is here, after some time t, the particle is rotated to this position, the particle is rotated to this position. So initially it is having a angular velocity omega 1, after some time it is having a angular velocity omega 2, that is time t. that is time t. It rotated an angle theta. It rotated an angle theta. Here change in angular velocity, we will say this is. What is change in angular velocity? Change in angular velocity. So change in angular velocity is omega 2 minus omega 1. How much time it changed? It taken time t. So change in angular velocity by change in time, that we will consider it as angular acceleration. That is angular acceleration. That is angular acceleration. Okay. Now these units are radian per second square. Radian per second square. Already omega is radian per second. Again second will come. So radian per second square. So linear acceleration is what? Change in linear velocity by time. Angular acceleration is what? Change in angular velocity by time. We will take it as angular acceleration. Okay. Now what is the relation between the linear and angular? That we will consider. What is the relation between the linear and angular? The next section we will discuss now. Now relation between linear and angular. Relation between linear and angular motion. Let us consider the particle is initially at this position with respect to this axis. Okay. Now the particle is at a distance r from this observer. It is at a distance r. Now this particle is traveling in this path. This particle is traveling in this path. So it make an angle theta. This it made an angle theta. So this is the length of a arc, we will say. Length of a arc. So that you consider it as S. These from initial to final, these you consider it as length of the arc, that as S. So now if you take here the angular displacement according to mathematical relation, angular displacement, that is theta, which is equal to arc length of arc by radius. This, if you take it, this is a circle, this is the length of arc by radius. This we are considering because it is in the rotational motion. No? So this we are taking as radius r. So here the length of arc, what we assume? Theta equal to S upon r. So therefore S is equal to r into theta. S is equals to r into theta. So if you differentiate these with respect to time, differentiate means rate of change of, here d by dt means what we will say? Rate of change, we will say. Rate of change means any particle in a particular time interval, these we will say it has rate of change. Any variable change with respect to time, that we will consider it as rate of change. So now these we are differentiating with respect to time, differentiating with respect to time. So here this r is constant always, this r is constant always, each and every instant. So what is changing? Length of the arc it is changing, and this theta value it is changing. So therefore here d by dt of rate of change of displacement, which is equal to r into d by dt of, so d by d theta of dt. Here r is constant, so we will place outside. Whatever is changing, here we already told any variable changes with respect to time. Here s is changing with respect to time, so we differentiated with respect to time. And in the same way theta is varying, in the same way we differentiated theta with respect to time. So here the rate of change of displacement ds by dt, which is equal to r into d theta by dt. So ds by dt, which is nothing but rate of change of displacement, is nothing but we will write it as velocity, and which is equal to r equal to d by dt, rate of change of angular velocity, sorry, angular displacement, that we will write it as omega. As previously we have discussed, rate of change of linear displacement, that is d theta by dt, that we consider, sorry, ds by dt, that we consider it as velocity, that is linear velocity, So rate of change of angular displacement means what? Angular displacement means theta. So therefore d theta by dt, that is equal to omega, we will consider. So this omega value is nothing but angular velocity. So this is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So this is the v is equals to r omega, that is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Here the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is v is equals to r omega. Now if you differentiate these with respect to time, the above equation, if you differentiate with respect to time, d by dt of linear velocity, which is equal to r is constant, right, r into d by dt of omega, So here d by dt of rate of change of velocity means acceleration, that is linear acceleration, which is equal to r into d by dt of omega, angular velocity, we will get it as alpha, that is angular acceleration. So this is linear acceleration, and this is angular acceleration, Clear? So this is the difference, this is the relation between linear and angular. So acceleration, linear acceleration, which is equals to r times of angular acceleration. So these are the major relations between linear and angular. This is linear displacement, which is equals to r times of angular displacement, linear velocity, which is equals to r times of angular velocity, linear acceleration, which is equals to r times of angular acceleration. Okay, now we discussed about motion, but what is the cause of motion? We didn't discuss. What is the velocity, acceleration in a particular time we discussed, but how that velocity is attaining, what is the cause of that velocity is attaining in that? That is nothing but some, without any external effort, the cause of motion will be there in the objects? No. So some external effort is required to move the object from one place to another place. So what is that external effort? That we will discuss. Now, cause of motion. Per suppose one object is there, that object mass is m, okay, that object mass is m. Now this object should move means simply it can't move, some external effort is required, external effort is required to move the object. Some external effort is required to move the object, right? Unless until if you apply external effort, the object can't move, or else one object already it is in motion. Unless until if you apply external effort, the object can't stop. So that external effort is important here. So here Newton's, he said that some external effort is required to move the object, or any object is in motion, or any object is in motion, to stop that, to stop also external effort is required. External effort is required. To stop also external effort is required. So in Newton's first law what he said, unless until you apply external force, the object we can't move, whether if it is at rest or if it is in motion, the object we can't stop. Now in the second law what he said means, so some force we are giving, okay, some force which we are giving. So the rate of change of velocity by time, the rate of change of momentum by time is nothing but force. What is this rate of change of momentum? For suppose, see here, initially the object is having a velocity u, that mass of the object is having a velocity u, that is at time t equal to 0. Now after some time t, the object is having a velocity v, the object is having a velocity v, clear? After some time t, the object will be having a velocity v. Now here the moment is nothing but amount of motion, amount of motion is nothing but momentum, linear momentum we will say, linear momentum we will say. Here initially linear momentum is what? M into u. Here final linear momentum is what? M into v. For a particular mass, certain velocity it is attained, it goes with certain velocity. So how much is the amount of motion means M into u, and here M into v. So if this rate of change in a particular time, this movement is changed, right? So rate of change of momentum, here rate of change of momentum, rate of change of momentum is nothing but force, that is external force is given to that object, so that rate of change of momentum in a object will be there, rate of change of momentum in object will be there. So what is that rate of change of momentum? That is d by dt of m into v, right? What is m is constant, no? M it won't vary, right? Now, so therefore m we will place outside, d by dt of v. So these we will consider it as mass into acceleration. So in Newton's second law what he said? In Newton's second law he said that Newton's second law he said that force acting on a system, net force, net external force acting on a system which is equal to mass of the system into acceleration of that system. If you consider this particular mass, if you consider this as a system, this system mass is, if this system mass is m, it is moving with an acceleration a due to this external effort. Okay, mass of the whatever the force, net force acting on that system equal to mass of that system into acceleration of that system. For example, we will take one example. Here a 5 kg block is there. Here a 5 kg block is there. In this direction we are applying 50 Newton, and in this direction we are applying a force 25 Newton. Okay, assume this block is going in this direction, it is accelerating in this direction. Now you apply Newton's second law for this. Apply Newton's second law equation. Apply Newton's second law equation. What is Newton's second law equation? F net is equals to m into a. Here system mass is what? 5, and it is moving with an acceleration a. But what is net force acting on this system? Net force, because it is accelerating in this direction, we assume that accelerating in this direction, so this force will be greater. This is in this direction and 25 Newton is in opposite direction. So net force is what? 50 minus 25. So 50 minus 25. So net force acting on this system is 50 minus 25 equal to 5 into A. So therefore acceleration will be 25 divided by 5, that is 5 meter per second square. That is 5 meter per second square. So this is with this 5 meter per second square, this object is moving in a right direction because of applying this 50 Newton and 25 Newton on this system. For suppose if you take one more example, for suppose here one 5 kg system is there and one more 10 kg system is there. One more 10 kg system is there. Okay, 10 kg system is there. If you combine this total as a system, this system mass is 15 kg. This system mass is 15 kg. System mass is 15 kg. Okay, system mass is 15 kg. On this system, we are applying 100 Newton. On this system, we are applying 100 Newton. So this total system will move with an acceleration A. The total system will move with an acceleration A. So apply second law for this. Apply second law for this. How we will apply second law? F net acting on a system is equals to mass of the system into acceleration of that system. What is F net acting on this total system? Only 100 Newtons, no? So this F net we will consider it as 100 Newton equal to mass of the system is 15 equal to A. So therefore 100 by 15 meter per second square. With this acceleration the total system is moving. So this is one more example. Okay. So in the linear, the cause of motion is because of external effort. So any cause of motion without any external effort, the cause of motion won't be there. So previously without cause of motion we framed the equations, that is linear relation and angular relation and velocity acceleration. Here in this Newton he gave 3 laws, that is first law is unless until you apply external effort the object won't move or we can't stop if object is in motion. And in second law what he said, net force is equal to net force acting on the system which is equal to mass of that system is equal to acceleration of that system. Now in Newton third law what he said? In Newton third law what he said? Newton third law, per suppose one object is there and one more object is there here. So when you push this object is pushing in this direction. Okay, in the same way how much this object will push this object, the same equal amount in opposite direction it will be acted on this object, on this small object. So what is this? Action and reaction pair we will say. Action and reaction. So in Newton's second law what he said, Nana? For every action there is a equal amount and opposite reaction it will be. So how much reaction it is, how much action it is giving on this capital M, the equal amount here it will give oppositely. If you assume reaction R value, R amount of force is given on the capital M, the same due to this capital M on small m, R amount it gives opposite direction. So every action there is a equal amount and opposite reaction. In Newton's second law he gave that. So by using these 3 laws all the problems will be solved in the Newton's laws, friction and all. By majorly based on these 3 laws only, the what is the cause of motion, is discussed, and with many experiments Newton he explained and he gave his 3 statements.